stabilize the atmosphere, and we'll have additional showers and thunderstorms. So gradually, as we move through June, we'll see a better environment. But the second half of the month is probably the earliest that we can suggest more normal weather for the region.
Hey, thank you, Drew.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Drew Lerner is with World Weather Incorporated in Kansas City. I'm Todd Gleason.
RFD Radio Network's Jim Taylor connects rural routes for you. You can trust Jim every morning for your overnight markets. He gets up early to help keep farmers on top of their game. Here's a bit about his rural routes.
I have the opportunity to cover something different every day and provide listeners with up-to-date markets, news they need to do their job and be successful, from legislative issues to crop updates and weather, of course.
Be it routes or routes, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Spring is here and things are buzzing. Farmers and pollinators are working together to help feed us. In fact, 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat exists because of bees, butterflies, birds, bats, and other insects. Pollinators are important to our food system and the ecosystem overall. That's why farmers and those in the agricultural industry are working together to protect pollinators through education, research, and conservation efforts. Visit ilagformonarchs.org to join the buzz. That's ilagformonarchs.org.
You're listening to RFD Town and Country Partners, connecting you with the food you eat, the Illinois farmers who grow it, and the food-related events, destinations, and lifestyles that make our state great.
Good day to you. Welcome to Town and Country Partners on this Wednesday, May 22nd. I'm Rita Frazier. We're here in the Illinois Farm Bureau building in Bloomington, but the show will cover the entire state today. We'll check in on a Heron Festival. It is Memorial Day weekend. Heron Festa Italiana. We'll have with us Chris Trappini. He is the president of that association, and it has become very popular in Heron, Illinois. So we'll have details on that Memorial Day event. Mike Orso is along with another destination piece. He'll take us to Marion, Illinois, and a really wonderful steakhouse there. And in this first segment, we'll talk to Kaylee Heap. Kaylee is an Illinois farmer. She and her husband also, in addition to their row crop farm, have Heap's Giant Pumpkin Patch, and that is in Kendall County. Kaylee also happens to be the Young Leader Chair for Illinois Farm Bureau. So we talked to Kaylee today as she was talking about not only the Young Leader activities, but the lack of activity on the farm in her area of the state. And quiet, unfortunately, right?
It has. We haven't, like much other areas, haven't quite caught a break in this rain to be able to do a whole lot quite yet. Typically, we're not the first in the field. However, everything starts to kind of back up and stack up on each other for us, at least on our farm, the later in the season we get here.
So row crops for you and your farm family, but as you mentioned, so like with your pumpkin and mum, with planting, you typically plant around Memorial Day?
Yeah, that's usually the earliest we try to shoot for would be that weekend. We're okay going a little bit after that as well, anytime within then and, the first couple of weeks of June. But that's going to back up into be about the same time as when everything else needs to get in the field, along with getting mums potted and all of that. So it's going to be a busy June, I think. I hope.
Yeah, me too. And I think that one of the things that you have shared with us on these reports is that you now know farmers not only north, south, east, and west in Illinois, but outside the state lines, and it really gives you such a broader perspective on things.
It really does. So earlier in the season, when it wouldn't stop raining, we had just gotten back, from New Mexico and Southwest Texas, and at that time, I was like, I'm never going to complain about the rain again because they get like maybe 6 inches a year.
Right.
I'm starting to maybe think about complaining about some rain here pretty soon. I'm so blessed that we get to have this problem. They don't have this problem, but it's been a challenge for us on the other side of things.
Right. And the network of people, as they say, misery loves company, if you could say that kind of phrase. But, because you have this strong network of fellow farmers around the state, this young leader group, you have lots of friends and lots of resources.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, too. And this is definitely an interesting year. You can tell the pockets that have had the opportunities, to get in, and the areas that haven't. And it's not what you would expect, I think, when I started hearing reports back from everybody. But it's kind of good to know what's going on around the state and, what everybody's going through. And, we're happy for those that were able to get in, and we're sympathetic for those that are still trying to get in. So.
Right. Well said.
Yeah.
So some of the events, even though this time of year all your members mostly are in the field or working with those who are in the field, but you always reach out and support young people in ag. And again, you're going to be at the state FFA convention.
Yeah, so that's about mid-June coming up here. The young leaders are going to be hosting a booth with Farm Bureau, just promoting the Young Leader program as well as the Collegiate Farm Bureau program. So we're really excited that we'll have an opportunity to engage with the FFA members from across the state, and then continue to build that pipeline of future Young Leader members.
I like that pipeline because, with each new program, Collegiate Farm Bureau, you mentioned growing, I think, 11 chapters around the state. All of that adds up to potential young leaders and folks who could possibly one day serve as a young leader of a IFB.
Absolutely. Every time I go to one of these events, I'm just blown away by the kids that are at them. And it just gives me all the confidence in the world that we're doing the right things and we're getting the right people coming in, and it gives the young leaders and the Farm Bureau a really bright future.
Did you get your start in 4-H and FFA?
I didn't. Where I went to school, I didn't have that opportunity. However, I met my husband in college and got involved in young leaders kind of that way. So there's a couple different ways you can get in. This is a really great way to start. And then, continuing to. I got in when I got my first job, so continuing to reach out and take advantage of that professional membership as well would be another way.
Now, the other thing, so this is a voluntary position that you're doing this to serve. You have to take time out from your family. You have a young one at home and another one on the way. It says a lot about, your belief in Farm Bureau. You must feel very strong about your membership in Illinois Farm Bureau.
I do, and there's a couple of things that are super important to that. I like to be involved, and I like to be involved in something where I feel like I'm making a difference and that I'm welcome there. Farm Bureau has done that for me, but I've also have a family and a company that has stood behind my efforts of volunteering for the Farm Bureau, and I think that's super important for families to hear as well as companies to hear out there, because that support has grown my farm, my family, and my career, and then my volunteer efforts as well. So it's been a good experience I've been able to have.
Remind us about your employer, where that's located.
So I work for FS Grain in Morris, Illinois. We have 23 grain facilities in northern Illinois.
So again, when we talk about everyone being touched, so you're touched by this late planting season at home and at work.
Yes. Yeah. So being a grain company, we like to see the grain markets react to the weather finally. So it's given something to talk about naturally. Now all of a sudden everybody's a little bullish. But we're able to benefit somewhat from the weather, but I think if I put my grain marketer hat back on, we can plant a whole lot of corn in a short window, thankfully, with the technology we have these days. So something to keep an eye on would be my little grain wisdom for the day.
One other, just a couple of minutes remain, but we talk about your Heaps Giant pumpkin patch. Tell us about, again, location, and, we mentioned a later season, but, a fall will come, and you hope to have a lot of folks on your place. Yeah,
so we're in Minooka, Illinois, so that's the southeasternmost point of Kendall County. And so, this, fall will come, and, we focus on the agritourism quite a bit. But however, pumpkins are a really big part of that. We grow a bunch of different varieties of it. So we really rely on a nice long growing season for that. So the later and later we get, and as regular conventional crops stack up on planting the specialty stuff, it'll get a little bit more challenging. We've seen years like this. They're not fun. We get through it. The good news is we're able to offer an experience as well. So we diversify that a little bit in the fall.
And one of the things that's so great about pumpkin patches going and spending time on a farm in the fall is it's family-based. And kind of that's our focus of this whole conversation today. It goes back to that. Folks show up. They do want to buy pumpkins and mums, but they're spending time with their family without digital. Right.
Yeah, it's all about the experience, getting outdoors. If you come to our farm, your shoes are probably going to get dirty. That's kind of the focus we've kept. You won't see any blacktop at our place. So our thing is just we're pretty wide open, getting outdoors, getting the family together, and then you get to work with a family. I mean, every part of our family works on that farm. Even my family occasionally has as well. So everybody, it's all hands on deck that time of year, and I think that's part of it. And it's also a really great opportunity to where my Farm Bureau experience plays in is people come out to a pumpkin farm, they accidentally visit a farm, right? Like they have this. They have an opportunity to talk to a farmer, but they don't even realize it. So it's a really great opportunity for us to get the messages we want out there from an ag standpoint.
How do we find out more, see some pictures, maybe follow you along in the growing season?
So we have a Facebook page. It's just Heap's Giant Pumpkin Farm. And we also have a website that's heapfarms.com. So either way, you can follow us there.
And when we come and visit you this fall, there'll be one more Heap.
Yes, there will be. We'll find out at the end of July if it's a baby girl or boy Heap.
Yes. Well, we wish you the very best. Again, Kayla Heap is our Young Leader Chair for the Illinois Farm Bureau. And again, Kaylee and her family's farm, it's Heap's Giant Pumpkin Farms. You can find them on Facebook or on their website. Well, coming up, we mentioned we'll be talking about a Memorial Day festivity, and we'll also be traveling to another destination in Marion, talking about historic restaurants in that part of the state. So stay with us. This is Town and Country Partners on the RFD Radio Network. Tomorrow we might preview that we'll be talking about Beef Month. Now that we're in the month of May, Charlene Fargo, our guest on tomorrow's program.
Farm Week and FarmWeekNow.com journalist Dina Stroish connects rural routes for you. From the Farm Bill to crop insurance to GMO labeling, her expertise is apparent in the stories she reports. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I get to meet interesting people and share their stories, and I get paid to do it. I cover ag policy and really enjoy keeping the farming community updated on these important issues.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Are you preparing for planting season? We don't mean to be a pest, but here's a few things you need to know before you grow. The Illinois Department of Agriculture now requires special local needs labels, including new restrictions for the use of herbicide dicamba on top of soybeans in Illinois for the 2019 growing season. Did you know these additional restrictions go beyond federally approved labels? Remember, the label is the law. To find out more about these Illinois-specific labels, visit ilfb.org/label-aware.
With another farm, family, and food-related Illinois destination you might enjoy, I'm Mike Orso with RFD Town and Country Partners. The 20s Hideout Steakhouse and Bar in Marion serves as a throwback to the days of Charlie Berger, a bootlegger and the last man to publicly swing from the gallows in Illinois. Since Jeff Dieterich bought the Hideout nearly 2 decades ago, it has undergone an overhaul, including the menu. A few years ago, Dieterich joined the farm-to-table movement when he purchased some farms in downstate Williamson County.
Well, it's definitely a change for me. I do not have a strong farming background, so I employed individuals that have been involved in cattle farming and raising beef for many generations within their family. And the program took off beyond my expectations and has continued to grow.
A pilot and insurance business operator turned farmer, Diederich maintains a 160-head herd of Black Angus cattle to continuously supply the 20s Hideout Steakhouse.
When we brought into the equation the farm-to-table product, that truly revolutionized our business.
The 20s Hideout in Marion also has 8,000 bottles of wine on hand, ranging from $7 a bottle to $600. You can pick the right one out by answering a few questions on the digital wine list. That, in addition to the locally raised beef, makes the restaurant stand out.
We are rotating our cattle from pasture to pasture pretty frequently so that they don't destroy the ground and really tear it up. But I'm sure, as in most years, at some point this is going to dry up, and we're just rotating our cattle in order to be positioned so that we've got good grass as far into the summer as we can.
Diederich has a new appreciation for what it takes to grow food since he has been able to capitalize on the farm-to-table trend.
People underestimate the level of work that's required. And, we think of process in a very simplistic way. We put some animals out there, they eat the grass, and there's where our beef comes from. But we quickly overlook the fact that, in the wintertime we need hay. Protein levels are tested in our hay supply, that those grains are custom blended for the nutrients levels that we need to get the adequate proteins. Working on the farm to make sure that the washouts are taken care of, that our fences are maintained.
A Le Cordon Bleu trained chef starts June 1st to help launch the restaurant's new fresh lamb entrees. The 20s Hideout Steakhouse and Bar can be found not too far off of Interstate 57 in Marion. For RFD Town and Country Partners, I'm Mike Orso.
RFD Radio Network's Rita Frazier connects rural routes for you. Rita delivers passion and reliable information to listeners on the RFD Radio Network. Her radio career spans close to 3 decades. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I grew up on a small farm. My job today allows me to connect with people from all walks of life and experience opportunity every day. I get to talk about what I love, farming.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Attention, Illinois farmers. You won't want to miss this field day at SIU Carbondale University Farms. It's your chance to hear from industry experts about ongoing research and how it will benefit your farm. Join us on June 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with free lunch included. This is a joint effort of the SIU College of Agricultural Sciences, Illinois Nutrient Research and Education Council, and Illinois Farm Bureau. You must pre-register at IllinoisNREC.org and click on upcoming events.
We are back here on Town and Country Partners on a Wednesday. We're going to travel down south to Williamson County and say hello to Chris Trapani. He is the president of the Heron Festa Italiana. How are you, Chris?
Good afternoon. I'm doing fabulous. How about yourself?
Fabulous. Well, I guess I can say fabulous, too. That makes me, at least saying it makes you a little bit happier. And I know that you're happy because you guys are already celebrating, and you started celebrating this festival on the 19th.
That's correct. That's correct. We're the gateway to summer down here.
The gateway to summer. I love it. So tell us about the history of this event.
Well, it started back in 1991. This is our 29th year of having the festival. What we basically did was we're born as a child of the Heron Chamber of Commerce in Heron, Illinois, and we partner with the City of Heron and the local Heron Civic Center to put the event on. It's focused to bring commerce and showcase our community. It grew from just a very small group of food vendors and carnival with some local talent to where it is today, bringing in 5 nights of national talent and 36 different events over about a 7-day period.
And do you have a big Italian community there?
We do. Basically, Heron was founded around the turn of the last century with a lot of immigrants to work the coal mines that were here. Not as prominent as they used to be. We still have plenty of ancestral people like myself that are Italian. My father himself was born in Sicily, Italy. But we've grown that way, too. We've kind of spread out to not just do the Italian base. We really offer something for everyone. So we've grown from that original 29-year-ago route as well.
Now, I have to ask you, because I lived in Beneld, Illinois for many years, and they have an Italian-American festival, also Memorial Day, with also a very solid Italian heritage there. So what's your favorite recipe or favorite Italian food? Because I know in Beneld, they focus in on the spaghetti and lots of traditional affair.
Well, I like gnocchis, if you know what that is. You probably do. It's basically an Italian noodle or dumpling. Sort of like chicken and dumplings, only Italian style, okay? Mm-hmm. But my favorite Italian food is just plain old, good old homemade spaghetti and meatballs.
You can't beat it. You
No,
can't
not
beat
if
it.
It's done right.
Right. So events, as you said, going on now through Memorial Day. So take us through what starts tomorrow, the 23rd.
Well, the carnival opens tomorrow, and it runs all the way through Memorial Day. It is a national class carnival. Our carnival vendor is one of the three biggest vendors in the nation, and we're very fortunate to have them. The rides are just wonderful for small children all the way up to adults, and very clean, very safe, well inspected, just a great thing. We have 36 different events. It's pretty hard for me to go through it. Just to touch on some, we have a national rated bocce complex for Italian bocce ball. We have a parade. We have a triathlon, other individual like 5K and 10K road races, big nose contest, pasta eating contest. Our entertainment venue is unbelievable. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. We have a food court all the way through, Italian food all the way through fair food, what people would want. Our entertainment venue, some of the bigger names coming this year, for instance, if you're in the country music, we have Jamie Johnson coming Friday night with Kendall Marvel. That's more of an outlaw country type of event. And then the very next night on Saturday night, we have Young Country, Scotty McCreery, Riley Green, Young Guns of Country night. Sunday night, we have a classic rock night with Head East and Loverboy coming. Monday night, we have a Christian night. It's all Christian family night. We have Jason Crabb and Danny Goki, Emmy and Dove winners coming.
My word, Chris, that's some lineup.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. And I missed Thursday night. Thursday night we actually kick off, and we're kicking off with a throwback Thursday, a Resurrection, a Journey tribute band, musicians that have actually played with Journey and with Stephen Perry are going to be on the stage Thursday night, and we're that's a real low price night. Our tickets, in fact, are very reasonable. We have tickets starting at $8. And the most expensive general admission ticket we got is $15. That's $15. And we have a $30 everyday pass. You can come every day for $30, $6
wow.
a day.
Good deal for sure. Now, just a little less than a minute left. So tell us what we didn't cover, and then maybe a website, or how do folks get more details?
Well, Heron Fest is all volunteers. That's probably the biggest thing we're proud of. It's heronfesta.com. If you just get on heronfesta.com, you'll learn a lot more than I can teach you in a few moments. But we just band together, the city, the Civic Center, the Chamber. People volunteer their time, celebrate our community, celebrate our Southern Illinois area, and really put a good boost into the local economy. It's just a great thing. And just get on heronfesta.com, and you can kind of surf the web and see the different things that are going on. I
like it. Now, this might be too personal, but have you ever been in the Big Nose Contest?
If I got in the Big Nose Contest, nobody would have a chance. I'd win.
Hey, Chris Soprani is... go ahead.